Ladies and gentlemen, I have two British beauties on my side today. And the reason I'm showing you these rifles is that they played a very important role in the sport shooting life of the 19th century. They are all British made, of course. One is a 5.77 caliber volunteer rifle and the other one is a British small bore military match rifle. And that's the star of the show today. In 2021 we are going to host the World Long Range Muzzle Loading Championships in Hungary, and this kind of discipline always fascinated me. Shooting to 1,000 or 1,200 yards with a muzzle loading rifle, now that's a challenge. And this is something I would like to try. The first step is to have a rifle that is good for a 100-meter discipline. So let's develop a load for that match rifle. The difference between British small bore military match rifle and the normal match rifle is that the military versions are usually fully stocked. This rifle have a full barrel length, meaning that even if it is a two-bender, it still features a 37-inch barrel. It is a small bore as the caliber is 0.451 inches and not 5.77 as the General Enfield military rifle family. These rifles were mostly used for long-range sport shooting. The checkered pistol grip and the checkered forend, just as the high comb straight stock, are features that are aiding the secure hold in prone, kneeling or standing position. These rifles were equipped with various types of long-range sights. The one that this rifle features is probably a repro. The long vertical and horizontal adjustment allows extremely long ranges, shooting and hitting up to 1,200 yards. These type of sights were invented in the early 1860s and were called Dr. Goodwin's orthoptic screen sight. They can be very precisely set to the desired distance and windage due to the fine adjusting screws and the vernier scales. The front sight of the rifle is also special. Interchangeable inserts help fine-tuning the sight picture, and it is also adjustable horizontally. Unfortunately, I do not know too much about the maker of the rifle, as no trademark can be found on the barrel. There are only a few bits of information available hidden on the parts. To get closer to the origin, we have to remove the hooked breech barrel. On the bottom of the breech we find proof marks on Birmingham, the serial number and the number 52. Although the rifling is an 8-groove Rigby rifling, my friends at John Rigby could not confirm that the bore was made by the famous Dublin gun maker. The gun lock is a very well-made premium quality lock made by Joseph Brazier in Wolverhampton. This Joseph Brazier Ashes text confirms that it is the best quality lock available by those times. Brazier was one of the best-known lock makers of the mid-19th century and made parts for many well-known companies. He only used his full name on the premium quality items he made, intended for premium quality guns. The family started the gun-making business early in the 19th century and established its factory at the Ashes, Brickkiln Street, Wolverhampton, Staffordshire. The origin of the rifle remained mystery. The form was quite popular as it is supported by a picture showing John Rigby himself after winning the Wimbledon Cup in 1864, holding a very similar rifle to the one I will be shooting in this short film. Straight stock, checkered pistol grip, two-band design and the commercial Enfield lock are very similar to mine. When you're shooting a muzzle-loading rifle, it is not just the ball and the powder that matters. It is always important to know exactly how you load your rifle. Always do everything consistently. If you do everything the same way from shot by shot, you will be fine. Let me show you how I load my gun. I did spend a lot of time developing a load for my rifle. I was experimenting with 3F, 2F powders, but ended up with 60 grains of 1.5F Swiss powder. This large corn slow burning powder is a delight to shoot. The pressure buildup is slow, so recoil is manageable, and this powder is also gentle with the nipple, won't burn out the touch hole too fast. Between powder and ball, I add a 2mm carton wad pushed down with a damp cleaning patch. This way the residue is not pushed into the breech, but on the card wad. It will keep your rifle shoot whole day. Now comes the bullet size to 0.450 inches. It is a soft lead bullet cast by a Lyman volunteer mold, weighs approximately 450 grains. This bullet goes down with the weight of the ramrod. Do not hammer the projectile in place, but always apply the same force on the ramrod for best accuracy. The middle of the 19th century was a great time of transitions. All the armies were first converting from flintlock to percussion lock, then from smoothbore to rifled guns, and then from big bore to small bore. It was important to reduce the weight of the cartridge to be able to issue more to the soldier, and it did cost less, of course. And of course, they wanted to increase the range and increase the accuracy. That was the born of the small bore military match rifle, which they used both for sport shooting and both for military sniper duties. Let me show you now a few bits of the history of these kind of rifles. Long-range rifle shooting as a sport was born in the 1850s in Great Britain. In 1859, government authorized the formation of volunteer corps to counter a possible invasion by France. This year, the National Rifle Association was also formed, that held its inaugural meeting in 1816 in Wimbledon. Queen Victoria herself fired the first shot of the event to 400 yards with a Whitworth small-bore target rifle fixed on a special mechanical rest. The 45 caliber hexagonal rifled gun firing a mechanically fitting bullet designed by the great engineer Sir Joseph Whitworth nearly hit the bullseye, showing the remarkable accuracy of the small-bore fast-twist rifle barrels. Excellent gunmakers inspired by Whitworth continued developing the concept, like Alexander Henry of Edinburgh with his Henry rifling profile and John Rigby of Dublin with his famous 8-groove fast-twist bore. Developing the load for such original rifle is never easy. Usually it takes a lot of patience and a lot of time. Well, for me, it was, let's say, half a year to find the right load for my military match rifle. Let me show you what it is capable of today with the best load I have so far. Let's go out and take a closer look what I did with this beauty. Okay, I already know it's a tight group. And I'm really happy because I own this rifle for nearly a year now. And, you know, of course, many things happen in life and you get taken away from shooting for work, for everything, for family. But in fact, I'm pretty sure that to get a tight group from any rifle, you at least have to have 3 or 4 months of practice with that rifle and developing the load, taking care about everything. And just never lose your patience. Never lose your patience and it will work. That's good. That is good. That is very, very good. Ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly 6 shot in the size of a 10 at 100 meter, of course from a rest, but this particularly means that the rifle is accurate. It's very, very accurate. I have a flyer, that was my last shot, and if you're a sport shooter, then you know that to fire the last shot, that's always the most complicated. But anyway, that's also in a good group, so it's only 3 or 4 centimeters from the center of this group, which is quite good at 100 meters. I love this old rifle. I really love this old rifle. This will make a very good competition rifle. And that's what I love about the old British match rifles of the 1860s, 70s, that they are just capable of this group today as well. Excellent. To achieve that kind of accuracy, you have to be very precise with your load. Let me show you my method of measuring my powder and selecting my powder, and also how I prepare my bullets for competition. Black powder particles burn on their surface, so it is more important to have equal number and size of particles in all charges than the weight. Therefore I measure my charge by volume and only double check it by weight on a scale. I also measure my bullets and keep only the ones within plus minus 0.5% of weight deviation. For long range shooting this is a must. I deep loop my bullets and size them to 0.450 inches. Now I have a load that is accurate at 100 meters, but I'm really curious how the rifle is performing at 200, so let's check it now. This is exactly the same method of loading I showed previously. The only thing I changed was the elevation of the Dr. Goodwin sight to be on target. Now it was up to this session to fine-tune the sight to the bullseye. The first presentation of the Dr. Goodwin sight happened in London on 27-28 March 1863, when William Blanche, Liverpool gunmaker and the inventor himself, presented the new sight to the public. And this is it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the view of the sight setting, and I'm really happy because all the shots are on a vertical line, which means that the load is accurate, the bullet is accurate, there is no problem here. The horizontal spread is maximum 10 centimeters, which is quite good at 200 meters, I will have to say. And all the last shots are here in the black area, which makes me very happy. Now it is time to shoot a group. After half a year of load development and fine-tuning the rifle, I decided to shoot the national championships, the 100-meter national championships, with this rifle this year in 2019. And the discipline will be Whitworth, which is an international discipline, 13 shots at 100 meters, prone position, and any free percussion rifle can go. Of course, if it is authentic, so the modern rifles are excluded from this game. But let's see now how I did at the first national championship with my British small-bore match rifle. The international MLAIC Whitworth discipline is a demanding discipline, both in reproduction and original classes. To be competitive, you have to be able to shoot at least 6, 7, 10s in both classes. The bullseye is only 5 centimeters, so you really need a tagged rival rifle for the job. Shooting the prone position looks easier than the standing disciplines, but to tell you the truth, it is absolutely not. Finding and keeping the same position and hold shot by shot is challenging. In Hungary, we have a sports shooter saying that you're not a real sports shooter until you have at least 10 excuses, excluding you, why it is not a 10. Well, I'm not different, I really have to say, so of course I never make mistakes. It can only be the techniques of the gun and the circumstances that matter, and which spoils my 10s. It was not easy to set the sights of the rifle during the competition because I felt that the impact points are just jumping from top to the bottom, and I really did not understand why. And then I realized that I made a mistake when I set my rifle sight. And the problem was caused by these two screws, which were loose. And if you check, they should be blocking the movement of the screw that is adjusting the height, the elevation, but they were loose. So the complete diopter was moving up and down, and I was not able to fine-tune my sights. I lost quite a few 10s because of this, but I was not unhappy because I really found the cause, and when I was able to set the sights properly, it was hitting the 10 again.
Elbasszom az időt az elején.
I wasted too much time with the sight adjustments, so I was barely able to finish my 13 shots in time. The score was less than I expected, but that day it was still enough to be the national champion. The 5 10s are a good start, I would say. So ladies and gentlemen, the first step is done. I have a good load for 100 meters, which can be probably good for a 300 meter shooting as well. But I'm pretty sure that for longer ranges I will need a paper patch bullet, and this is something that I'm going to work on in the future. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching the capandball YouTube channel. I'm really happy that you're here, and if you want to stay here, then please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you wish to support me, you can do it two ways. First of all, you can support me by buying the capandball percussion revolver cartridge formers and authentic Civil War cartridge boxes. All the authentic Civil War percussion revolver paper cartridge boxes available in several versions and calibers, and also our 36 and 44 caliber cartridge formers are family made by capandball. Follow the link to our stores if you wish to purchase one. You can also support me by Patreon. You can also find the access to the Patreon site under this video. So ladies and gentlemen, what more can I say? Until next time, stay cool and keep your powder dry.